Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Krystle.
As travel agents with Fantastical Vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 72 of Wanderlust and Wishes. Today, we're going to talk through park bag essentials. And one of the things we're going to break down is the differences between Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. There are definitely some key differences in strategy for these two parks. And also, if you're going by yourself or if you're going with your family, how you pack your bag is going to be different.
All right. First, we need to chat through some bag rules, both parks. So let's start at Universal. Suitcases or bags with wheels are not permitted, and only soft-sided coolers smaller than 8.5 inches wide by 6 high by 6 inches deep are permitted.
It's very specific.
Yes. So I'm picturing just like the little lunchbox side.
Yeah, super tiny.
Cooler. Yeah,
super tiny. And then let's talk about lockers at Universal Orlando. Lockers are a huge part of going to Universal Orlando. When you go to Walt Disney World, you do have the option to use lockers, but because of the way that they allow bags or the size of the bag in each of the different areas for the rides, lockers are really important at Universal Orlando. There are two different sizes at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. They have the standard lockers that are narrower. They measure 5.5 inches in height, 14 inches in width, and 16.9 inches in depth, and can easily fit small purses, if you have wand, wallets, cell phones, but they are not tall enough to fit a popcorn bucket or a cup, or really any kind of backpack. Larger backpack is not going to fit in there. It's not happening.
like you can squeeze a lounge fly if it doesn't have anything on the front.
But you are literally like
squeezing
it. Like you are like making it fit. And those are basically the free option. They have larger lockers that can fit larger backpacks and potentially multiple purses or fanny packs kind of thing. They measure 13 inches in height, 12 inches in width, and 16.9 inches in depth. They cost $3 for every additional hour with a max of $25. So basically, if you're using it for a ride, it's going to basically be $3 unless you happen to leave it there for the whole day for some reason. At Epic Universe, they did things a little bit different. They only have one size, and
hallelujah, they listened.
Yeah, and it's one size and it's larger. So they measure 11.8 inches in height, 11 inches in width, and 13 inches in depth. They're not quite as deep, but they're still much bigger than the standard locker at the other two parks, and they will fit probably a medium backpack and your like refillable souvenir cup or a popcorn bucket. You can put those in these lockers and they'll fit. So just as an FYI, you have free ride lockers for Universal Studios at Men in Black, Alien Attack, Revenge of the Mummy, and then Escape from Gringotts, at Islands of Adventure, The Forbidden Journey, Hagrid's, The Incredible Hulk, and Velocicoaster, and then at Epic Universe at Hiccup's Wing Gliders, Monsters Unchained, Stardust Racers, Fire Drill, and Dragon Racers Rally.
A Jurassic World Velocicoaster. It's similar to Tron if you've been to Walt Disney World, where you put in on one side and you're getting out on another side. So it is like a different location. But you do go through a metal detector and you can't take anything with you on the ride. So you can't even like take a picture with your phone. Like you have to leave your phone. The ones at Universal, they are utilizing facial recognition, which is so neat because then you don't have to like, if you've been here and heard my story about putting my ticket in my Crocs, I didn't have anywhere else for it. There's like no chance of losing your ticket because you took it on the ride with you. So I'm excited, and hopefully they start to move that to the OG Universal side. All right, Walt Disney World. We're also going to talk strollers because I use them to store items, and I don't know what I'm going to do when my kids are too old for stroller. So Walt Disney World is strict with their stroller policy. Strollers larger than 31 inches in width and 52 in length are not permitted. Stroller wagons are also not permitted. Most standard double strollers are fine, but no stroller wagons. Strollers are not allowed on escalators. Use of strollers is permitted on elevators and ramps available at certain locations. A child must be removed from his or her stroller while riding on a parking lot tram. They say do not leave personal belongings in an unattended stroller. Strollers may be moved. This is a big one. Strollers may be moved by a cast member due to operational needs. They are always condensing and rearranging, and you do have to break them down to get on the buses. And any double you have to break down, a side-by-side double, not front-back double, you have to break down on the Skyliner. Suitcases, bags, coolers, or backpacks with or without wheels larger than 24 inches long and 15 inches wide by 18 inches high are not allowed in any theme park or water park. Loose or dry ice is also not permitted in these containers. Reusable ice packs are recommended. I know everybody has a little different setup, and it'll depend on what sort of packer you are. My situation changes based on park and if I have my kids or if I have a stroller. It could be a crossbody sling, it could be a backpack, a purse, a combo, a fanny pack. I am a chronic overpacker by nature. But I also need to tell you that I grew up 45 minutes from a Walmart and 2 hours from any mall. So I just have learned to be prepared by nature because
Right.
Amazon Prime was not a thing.
Right.
So even now it's still to get to my mom's house, Amazon's not an overnight thing. It's like a 4-day thing. So I've always just kind of grown up with you got to have it to be prepared. You can't just go buy it. So that is why I am the way I am.
That's funny. And I think I was definitely some of it too, I think is where you are. That obviously she there's history there with Krystle and where she grew up. But I also think from the overpacking and having everything you can possibly think of, I think it's also in your stage of life when you have younger kids. I did the same thing. I literally had everything, anything and everything I could possibly think of in my park bag in case something happened. And you'll see now I'm a lot less worried about it. There are things that I want to keep in my bag, but my girls can carry their own bags and they can take their own stuff. And I'm just not as stressed out about it because they have places at the parks where you can buy stuff if you absolutely have to have it. So I'm a little bit less stressed about that kind of thing. But I do think it has to do with the age of my kids.
Yes, and they can definitely help more. So where do we want to start? Do you want me to start with my stroller setup?
Yes. Yes, because I'm telling you guys, I wish that I had had Krystle when I had my kids at this age, because even though, yes, I packed anything and everything, the way that she puts it all together is so amazingly organized. I'm in awe every time she talks about it. So yes, let's start with your stroller setup.
Okay. I'll also talk through what we put in our stroller. And then I think we'll probably each go through just lists. So you might hear some doubles, but if you hear it more than once, it's an essential. So we've done 2 single strollers. We have done double front back, and we've done a double side by side. All great for different reasons. They all have their place. But regardless, we try to have some sort of stroller caddy on the back that holds my phone, drinks, snacks on the back by the handles. And then I usually have some clips on the handles that hold a diaper bag that hangs off the back. So this is where it starts to get heavy if you have a single stroller.
It starts to get a little lopsided.
So when you're going through security, I try to put anything that is going to make it go off, I put on the backpack. I don't hook the diaper bag on it till we're through security. I wear the diaper bag. I send John through with all the kids so he doesn't get pulled, because they have to go through every single pocket, every single nook and cranny. Underneath the stroller, I have a clear zip bag with diapers and wipes that's I can grab and take to the restroom to change a diaper. I also have a clear bag of snacks that we'll throw under there. And then we have carabiners that hang off the side with the metal water bottles. And if they can see those, that's fine. Then hanging on the side, I keep a little mesh bag. I personally like rain jackets over ponchos. And I will stuff all of our rain jackets in there, and they're there the entire trip until we need them. So then they're not like taking up room in the bag or underneath. And then I also keep the stroller rain cover because it's going to rain in Orlando in there too. So that's just kind of like an out of sight, out of mind. The other big thing I have is I have like a big tote bag that's foldable that just stays in the boot underneath the stroller. And this is essential for when you're getting on the bus at night. You can just throw it all in that bag and you're not trying to like repack stuff because you got to fold the stroller down. So it's just kind of like a catch-all for your souvenirs, for snacks that are everywhere, for there's probably loose shoes somewhere, like all those things. And then in my diaper bag for my toddler/baby, not so much for the older kids, but I have extra outfits because blowouts and because they always like to find water. I have diapers and wipes. I have snacks, more than you think you'll need, but some things that that they'll eat, like goldfish. Reese loves chomps. I have a comfort item. I have a stroller blanket for naps because Reese won't sleep without a little blanket on her nose. It's weird. But Caller went to Disneyland for the first time with a Pluto, and he had like a binky leash hooked to him on the stroller, and Pluto rode around, but he had the leash on, so we weren't losing him. I'll do the binky leash with toys as well, like little poppet things, and I'll rotate them in and out through the day so they don't get bored. I like to take my own bib. I gotta protect the outfit. My diaper bag has an air tag. I talked about the fold-up park bag, a more intense first aid kit if I'm taking my kids. Usually like contact case and solution because two of my kids are in contacts. Kids Tylenol, shout stain remover wipes, blister tape, headache meds. I take Body Glide, chapstick, those kind of things. And then I already said rain jackets or ponchos and stroller rain cover. So that is my stroller. It sounds like a lot, but
It is a lot, but it's so,
it's always stuff that we're like using and pulling for daily. So
I mean, you have it there for a reason because you know you're going to need it.
yes.
I think I've told my story that I took a stroller to Disney World one time, and after that, I was like, I'm never doing that again because of the like breaking it down and all of that stuff. And I think in general, we never really used a stroller a ton. We just didn't. I don't know why. We had one and we did use it every once in a while, but we just were never big stroller users. Even if you're not a big stroller user, I would recommend it at least on like an initial trip with young kids because it's so intense and overstimulating and it's a lot of walking and you're going to need it. If I were to redo it, I would have done 2 single strollers instead of a double stroller because my kids were literally slapping each other and fighting the entire time. And that drove me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing with the 2 singles is when we did it, we were at Disneyland. Harper was like 1 and barely walking, and Calder was 4 and could ride a lot. So it was a lot easier for me to like take her and go do like some Small World Dumbo type stuff while he went with the older people. And so
yeah,
it was a lot easier to like switch it up.
I would definitely recommend that or the front and back double stroller, like instead of them being next to each other. I feel like that's probably better too, just in general, because of how wide the double strollers are and trying to get through crowds and all of that stuff. But anyway, I mean, there's tons of them there. So it's not like you would be the only person with a double stroller side by side. That was just my experience.
And I will mention when I take my stroller and I have like the backpack diaper bag hooked to the stroller, I only wear a crossbody. I don't wear a backpack, which that changes when I'm by myself because then I feel like I have more than what I can fit in a crossbody. So it kind of acts as a holder for all my crap too.
You've created a system where it's helpful that you don't have to carry all your stuff and you can use the stroller. Yeah. And I will say, like, you know, we'll go through some of the things that we put in our park bags in that we just talked about in general. Walt Disney World is more lenient with, they allow you to bring your bags on rides. Like the only one that I'm aware of that you can't is Tron, and that's brand new. That's not what has been the typical thing. They have spots on most of their rides where you can tuck the bag in either underneath the seat or in front of the seat or, you know, somewhere where you can bring your backpack and you don't have to leave it behind. Yeah, you don't have to put it in a locker. You don't have to do anything with it. And Universal is the opposite. So you can bring a much bigger bag and put a lot more things in it at Walt Disney World. However, That doesn't necessarily mean that you want to pack this gigantic bag, because that you're carrying it around with you all day unless you have a stroller. So you still want to think through strategically, like, do I want to carry this around with me all day? Do I want this on my back as I'm walking through back and forth through all the different parks?
When it's 900 degrees and you're sweating profusely.
Yeah, you sweat as soon as you walk out the door. So I think for me, for Walt Disney World, one of us will probably have a backpack. And usually my husband kind of gets voluntold to do that.
Voluntold, I love that.
He's usually the one that carries the bigger bag out of everybody, that where we put things. But we all kind of each individually carry a bag. I will typically carry a smaller, like, crossbody or a fanny pack to Walt Disney World. I'm generally going to do like the crossbody backpack. So it's a smaller backpack, but it still carries more than the little fanny pack. And I want to have my sunglasses. I'm usually going to wear my hat or visor. So I don't necessarily have to pack that, but you want to have room in case you want to. I use my phone for money, for my ticket, to get into the park, and for lightning lanes. So really the only thing out of my wallet that I would take with me is my license in case I need it. I don't usually need it, but I have it just in case. The portable charger is absolutely essential to have with you in either park, whether it's Universal or Walt Disney World. When we did an episode on our park bags, I think like one of our first episodes, and Krystle recommended one to me, and it's the best thing ever. So we'll definitely make sure that we put some kind of link in the notes, in the podcast notes for this. It's just basically like this, almost like the size of a phone, but it's just a block. It pops out where the plug like goes into the wall, but it like goes back up into the charger so that it's flush until you need to plug it into the wall. And then it has a plug for every type of phone. So it has the different types of phone chargers so that you don't have to have a specific phone charger for every single type of phone that you have, which is really, really nice. I like to make sure that I have some type of gluten-free snack. Obviously, I have snacks for everybody. We usually will pack like a protein bar or something. Goldfish are like for the win, regardless of age.
Yeah.
They're the freaking best thing ever. I can't have those, obviously, but everybody else in my family loves them. So packing, a baggie of goldfish every day to make sure you have a snack, protein bars, some type of gluten-free protein bar or something that I can have, mostly so that you just don't get hangry. We generally do eat in the parks. So we'll grab a snack at the park. So this would mostly be for like if we're standing in line or something and we don't want to stop or whatever. We just don't want to get like over the edge. I think you all have heard plenty of times about my motion sickness. So I usually have multiple different things. Behind the ear patches, I have a relief band that I wear, and also take Dramamine. Basically have multiple things in case just whatever is available so that I have it. I actually like ponchos better. And I think it's because if, like, worst case scenario, we needed to toss something, we would just toss the ponchos. Not that we don't. I mean, we do reuse them, but I think in the back of my mind, that's the way that I think about it, is that if we needed to toss something, that's what we would do. But we have those all like, rolled up really tightly, and they don't take up a lot of room for the most part. At least one person carries a refillable water bottle. I think within the last couple of trips that we've taken, I really would rather have one that's collapsible. No, it doesn't necessarily keep it cold, but if you're just going to the quick service stations and grabbing water and everybody's, drinking some water, the refillable ones that are like the larger metal ones, they're just heavy and bulky and they're just harder to carry around. I also love Liquid IV. I think you can use any kind of electrolytes mix. Liquid IV is just my favorite. I love the passion fruit flavor. I mean, I drink it at home pretty much every day, so I definitely have it with me at the parks. I have a little medication case that it's like a little pill pack kind of thing, and I'll throw in Advil or Dramamine, and I think it has a little compartment that I put Band-Aids that I'll throw in there. And then I keep that full so that whatever we need, we have something. I often end up carrying magic bands for my daughters because they take them off, and I don't want them to lose them. And a lot of times I'll do that, but that's not necessarily an essential. It's just because my children are lazy and they don't carry their own things. We always get a popcorn bucket, probably on the first day, and I just attach that to my bag with whatever bag. Somebody attaches it to one of their bags. If you're wearing sneakers, definitely extra socks are a really good idea to have. I usually try not to because I feel like every time I ever do, it freaking rains. And my shoes are just nasty and squishy and it's terrible. But I have a pair of sandals that are Skechers, and they basically have almost like the sneaker bottom, but they are open so that I don't get hot and they can get wet and they dry easily. That's really my preference. I always usually pack ears, extra ears too. I wear contacts and glasses, so I wear dailies, so I just throw like a couple extra packs in there. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about the solution or anything. I just throw a couple extra packs of contacts and I bring my glasses as backup in case for whatever reason my contacts are just driving me bananas and I need to take them out. And then hand sanitizer because people are gross. And when you touch things, you want to put hand sanitizer on after you've touched it.
Yes, you do.
My husband likes to bring like reusable metal straws. I don't really care about that. I don't really care so much about straws in general. Like I'm just not necessarily a straw person, but he likes to have them. So he'll usually pack that in his bag, but I don't pack that in my bag.
Okay, so these are my essentials. I think these could probably go for either park. So if I'm just going to take a crossbody, these are the things I'm going to reach for first. Some sort of first aid, like I said. I know this looks different for everyone. For me, some headache meds, some blister tape. I don't like Band-Aids, but the blister tape, I will link it. I have some friends who've done like Grand Canyon rim to rim hikes and marathons that swear by it, and now I use it and I'll put it on first day at Disney World and it will stay on my heel until the end, like through the pool, everything. It does not budge. Saves me. Body Glide and chapstick. I like to have sunglasses, money, whether that's a gift card, cash card, phone charger. I'll link the good one that Julie was talking about. I bought another one just because it will do my watch and it doesn't plug into the wall. And I had to find a charger, like a cord. And I was like so annoyed. So never again. A water bottle. I like the Stanley flip tops. They are heavy and bulky. But when you have a stroller, it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Some sort of sunscreen and then something to stay cool. We like the neck fans. I have a little handheld fan that will fit in my crossbody. Some people like the cooling towels. And then hand sanitizer. I really like the Bath and Body Works spray hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Especially now they have like little tiny bottles of it.
Yeah.
Because it smells good and my kids can use it. And it's not like dripping and running everywhere. Yeah. So those are my essentials that if I only had a crossbody, I would take.
I totally forgot about sunscreen and also either a cooling towel or a fan. Probably, I would say that the cooling towels are definitely easier as far as like space wise to deal with. The neck fans are just bulkier. So depending on the size of bag that you have, it's a little harder to take one of those.
I'll link my little handheld one because it will fit, but it's not as powerful. And then you have to sit and hold it in your face, which is annoying.
Yeah. And also like you have to recharge those too because those things will like run out and you're like in the middle of the day and you've used your fan at like high power all day and then it like loses all of its juice. And if you don't have your portable charger with you, kind of SOL because it's hot and you don't have now you're out of having a fan.
Yeah. Some obscure things that you will find in Krystle's bag, depending on where we go. Ziploc bags, the gallons and the sandwich sizes. These are great for leftovers, great for soiled or wet clothes. I usually always have my camera with me, which makes me have to bring a backpack because it's a big old honking sucker.
It's quite substantial.
I've been known to bring a GoPro and I have it like on a little lanyard. So that helps because I can just wear it around my neck. I also like to keep an extra pair of socks in my bag and then some Crystal or electrolyte packets. I have like these like neoprene pouches that have zips on both sides. So like one side's like our first aid side and then one side is like Crystal packets, like things like that. And then I also have this little, I forget the name of the brand, but it's kind of like a little, looks like mascara wand, but it's hairspray and it's in like a tube that looks like lip gloss.
Yeah.
And
it's like gel. It's kind of like more like gel, right? Because I use
Yeah.
that for Ella for her meats.
Yes. And ever since I found that, it's always in my little crossbody.
I'm pretty sure did we both get that idea from Cassie?
No.
Okay. I saw Cassie was using it for her daughter for like dance recitals to like make like they could get the flyaways to like go back
Yeah.
and like stay in place. And I was like, I have to get some of that stuff for Ella for her meats. So
Is it in a pink tube?
I don't know. I don't remember the color of it, but it's basically, it does. It looks like mascara and you like run it through your hair. Like, or I don't, but she does, so that she doesn't have flyaways at meets.
Yes, we'll link it. It's a game changer. I bring biodegradable straws because I've tried the reusable straws and they're either sticky or pain to clean. So I just get I don't even know what they're made of, but they're biodegradable, but they're more substantial than the paper because I like to sit and sip on my Diet Coke for a while. Don't like the soggy straw. So I just grab like a whole handful of those and take them with me. And then if we're at Disney, an autograph book and the Sharpie Click marker and pens for trading.
I mean, I definitely had all of those things when the kids were younger, like the marker. I always had a Sharpie and the book or whatever it was that we were going to use, for autographs. But they're just not as into getting the signatures so much anymore. So you guys heard like all of the things, and obviously I forgot sunscreen on my list, which is essential, and some type of cooling cloth or fan or something that fits in the bag for Walt Disney World. So you heard like my list was fairly long for things that I would want to have in somebody's bag. Someone needs to have it on their person for us, when we go to the parks, for us to feel like we're prepared. But for Universal, it's definitely one of those situations where if you need to have a medium-sized backpack, or you need just one person, and then maybe you could just rent the larger locker for the one, and then everybody else needs to just do a fanny pack or like a little like Lululemon bag kind of situation. If you're wearing like the Lululemon bag or even like a decent sized fanny pack, you can usually wear those on the rides. Not Velocicoaster, that's the exception, but you can take those. But anything really any bigger than that, they're going to turn you away. And Krystle and I actually saw someone get turned away. Like they had to go back. We were fairly
We're like in front of
close.
Hagrid's.
Yeah, we were very close, and someone had a backpack on. And I mean, it wasn't like a gigantic backpack, but it was bigger, and they made them turn around and go get a locker. So since I would have like a significantly smaller bag on me doing the Advil and Dramamine, because I have to have those things, hand sanitizer, the portable charger, sunglasses, some type of, even if it's just like a little tiny, you kind of have to get like the travel size sunscreen sprays because you don't have an option to really put a whole lot more in there. Same thing with like the fan that Krystle was talking about. Like you're stuffing all this little, like these little travel options in these bags so that you don't have to worry about. And then even if you are using a locker, like you still can't put anything that's very big in there. You're going to wear your ticket on a lanyard at Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios. And then I also would have to have extra contacts and glasses. I always have to have those. I'm blind as a bat. So if I have to have something or I will be completely, like, I would truly be disabled. Like, I would not be able to function if I didn't have something, some type of corrective lenses. So if something happens with my contacts, I have to have a backup. And then I love the refillable cup at Universal. So it is a little frustrating that you can't fit those into the locker. I think I've just always been in a situation where I've been able to leave it with someone,
Or you just have to dump it out and put it on side.
Or you have to rent, pay $3 for the bigger locker, basically, to put it in there. Because Universal's refill station game is on point. It's amazing. When you get these cups, like you can refill them
Coke
as many
refills.
times. Yeah, you can get as many refills as you want per day. They have ice cold water. They have Diet Coke. They have all the different Cokes. They basically have that Coke, whatever they're called. Like
the Coke refill, like the Coke.
They're basically like you can pick whatever kind of Coke option that you want, kind of thing. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but you can pick whatever Coke product that you want out of these things. And as long as your refillable cup is active, it's so amazing. I really wish that Disney would put something like this in place
The
because
Coke freestyle machines.
freestyle. Okay. Yeah. It's absolutely the best. And I think it's completely worth it to get one of those cups to refill because you can use it all day, every day. That would be the only like monkey wrench in my plan for having the smaller bag.
Well, and we've done this, both of us together without kids, and it's such a wrestle of what do I do? What can I leave at the hotel? Am I going to be mad if I don't have it? And yes, you can go buy stuff in the park, but you also just need to learn to be a minimalist, which is not my strong suit.
I can't even tell you how many times that we have left our popcorn bucket at the room and I've literally wanted to scream because
So I'm so excited that they put
we
the bigger
use
lockers
them.
Epic because you're so restrictive on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be very helpful for sure.
All right. I would love to hear our listeners obscure things that you pack in your park bag. We may have to do like an in-depth, like what we just take in general. That might be a long episode because I've heard people like take like hot plates and pots and pans and rolls of paper towels and
What?
yeah.
Maybe because I stay at a DVC room, there's certain things that maybe it's automatically there that may not be in like, but I'm pretty sure you get paper towels like everywhere.
No, not in the regular rooms.
They don't give you a roll of paper towels?
No.
What? Well, that's lame.
But yes, so now I'm like very curious of everybody's like obscure items that they pack and bring with them. Like someone was like, "Oh yeah, I pack like a mattress topper with me so I can sleep." Like even when they fly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some
So
people bring fans. Like they have to have like a big box fan just because that's how they sleep.
if you have some weird, may not be weird to you, but obscure item that's not on every packing list, I want to hear about it.
Oh, I know what I have to bring, and I don't know if everybody has to bring. This might not be super obscure, but I cannot live without like earplugs because I have to have complete darkness. Do not turn on the microwave light in your room, or I will like I cannot. I don't do that.
I know the feeling.
Or I'll have to bring a mask. I'll have to bring a face mask or a mask that covers my eyes, and I need silence. And so I put in earplugs so that no one wakes me up because both of my daughters talk in their sleep and my husband snores. Not that I don't, so I'm not throwing shade at people that are snoring. I'm just saying like I can't sleep. But yeah, both of my daughters also talk in their sleep, and Ella will straight up sit up in the middle of the night and have a 30-second conversation with you and then go right back to sleep, and everybody's completely confused and has no idea what's happening.
All right, I think that wraps up our packing or what's in our park bag episode.
Yes.
Thank you for being here and for listening. We've hit some fun download milestones lately, and we're trying to hit. It's a pipe dream, but we're trying to hit another one by the end of the year. So, if you have a favorite episode, we'd love if you would share it with a friend, share it in your Instagram stories or on your Facebook page. Tag us. We'd love it. Share a review, all the things. We're just trying to get our little show out there.
Yeah. And we really appreciate everyone that's listening because we made those milestones because of you all. We truly appreciate it.
You matter to us. We can see you all and we love it.
We see you. We hope you all have a fantastic week and we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wanderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.